Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Easy English Talk.
I am your host, Jack Henry.
Hi, everyone. I am Sarah Henry, your co-host. I'm so excited for today's episode because we're going to talk about something every English learner struggles with, memorizing English words.
Yes, learning new vocabulary can be tough. Sometimes you memorize a word today and forget it tomorrow. But don't worry, we'll share some smart and practical ways to remember words easily.
Absolutely. And the best part is, these methods aren't just for memorization. They'll actually help you use these words naturally in speaking and writing.
By the end of this episode, you'll know exactly how to memorize English words smartly, without feeling stressed or overwhelmed. And we'll even share some fun techniques that make learning words enjoyable.
So whether you're a beginner or someone who wants to expand your vocabulary quickly, this episode is for you.
All right, Sarah, let's get started and discover how to make memorizing English words much easier and more effective. Sarah, before we jump into smart techniques, let's be honest. Memorizing English words can be really challenging.
Oh yes, Jack. I know so many learners who spend hours trying to memorize a list of words, but the next day they forget almost everything.
Exactly. And it's not just about forgetting. It can be frustrating and demotivating. You start thinking, why am I even learning these words?
Right, and another problem is trying to memorize too many words at once. Our brain just can't handle it. It's like trying to fill a bucket that's already full.
Haha, that's a perfect way to put it. Also, learning words without context is tricky. For example, learning the word delicious alone might not help you remember it when you want to talk about food.
Yes, context is so important, and that's why today we'll focus on smart ways to memorize words that actually stick in your memory and help you use them naturally.
Exactly. So, if you've ever felt stuck or frustrated trying to remember new English words, don't worry. Today's episode is going to help you solve that problem. Sarah, now that we've talked about the struggles, let's understand why memorizing words can be hard. It all comes down to how our memory works.
Yes, Jack. Our brain has two main types of memory, short-term and long-term memory. Short-term memory is like a temporary storage, and long-term memory is where words really stick.
Exactly! The problem is, when we just try to memorize a word quickly and don't review it, it stays only in short-term memory. And then, poof, we forget it.
Right. That's why repetition is so important. If we review words several times over days or weeks, they move into long-term memory and we can remember them more easily.
Also, our brain remembers things better when we connect them with something we already know, like pictures, stories, or personal experiences. That's why learning in context works much better than just memorizing lists.
Exactly. So, understanding how your memory works can make a huge difference. Once you know this, you can use smart techniques to memorize words efficiently and actually remember them when you need them.
Yes, and in the next part, we'll show some practical methods to learn words in context, which is one of the smartest ways to remember them. All right, Sarah. Now let's talk about one of the smartest ways to memorize English words. Learning them in context.
Yes, learning words in context means you don't just memorize the word alone. You learn it through sentences, stories, or real-life situations. This makes it much easier to remember.
Exactly. For example, instead of just memorizing the word delicious, you can learn it in a sentence like, "This pizza is delicious." Now, you not only know the word, but also how to use it naturally.
Right. And you can do this with any word. Take the word excited. Instead of learning it alone, you can say, I am excited to watch the new movie tonight. See how easy it is to remember when it's in a sentence?
Yes. And the best part is, when you learn words in context, your brain starts to remember the situation, not just the word. So next time you want to talk about food or movies, the words come naturally.
Also, learning words in context helps you speak more naturally in English. You'll know which words to use and how to use them correctly.
Exactly. So, always try to learn words with examples, sentences, or situations. Don't just memorize lists. It's smarter, faster, and much more fun. Sarah. Another super effective way to memorize words is using visualization and imagination.
Yes, our brains remember images much better than plain words. If you can picture something in your mind, it becomes easier to recall the word later.
Exactly. For example, if you want to remember the word elephant, imagine a huge elephant walking in your living room. The funnier or more unusual the image, the better you'll remember it.
Right. And you can do this with abstract words too. Take the word joy. Imagine a person jumping happily with a big smile. This image will help you recall the meaning instantly.
Another tip is to connect new words to personal experiences. For example, if you learned the word beach, picture yourself swimming or building a sandcastle. Your brain will store it better.
Exactly. Visualization makes learning active, not passive. It's not just reading, it's imagining, creating, and connecting. And that's why it works so well for memorization.
Yes. So whenever you learn a new word, try to visualize it in your mind or connect it to something you know. It's a fun and powerful way to remember words smartly. Sarah. Now let's talk about a technique that really helps words stick: spaced repetition.
Yes, Jack. Spaced repetition is a method where you review words at increasing intervals. Instead of studying the same word every day, you space it out, like after 1 day, then 3 days, then 7 days, and so on.
Exactly. This helps move words from short-term memory to long-term memory. Our brain loves repetition, but it works best when it's not all at once.
You can use flashcards, apps, or even a notebook. For example, write the word on one side, the meaning and an example sentence on the other side, and review it according to your schedule.
Yes, apps like Anki or Quizlet are great because they automatically show you words you need to review at the right time. It's like your brain's personal trainer.
And the best part, spaced repetition is smart because it saves time. You focus only on the words you're about to forget, so learning becomes faster and more effective.
Exactly. If you use spaced repetition regularly, you'll notice that words you learned weeks ago are now easy to recall. It's one of the smartest ways to memorize English words. Sarah. Another smart way to memorize words is to connect new words to what you already know.
Exactly, Jack. When we link new words to familiar words, experiences, or ideas, it becomes much easier for our brain to remember them.
For example, if you learn the word joy, you can connect it to happy or smile. So whenever you think of happiness, you'll remember joy too.
Yes, and you can make word chains too. Like for travel, you can connect it to airport, plane, journey, and adventure. This way, learning one word helps you remember several others.
Another tip is to connect words to personal experiences. For example, if you learned the word festival, think about the last festival you attended. Your memory will link the word to that event naturally.
Exactly. Connecting new words to what you already know makes memorization smarter and faster. It's much more effective than just memorizing lists of words alone.
Yes, so always try to make connections. Your brain will thank you later. Sarah, now that we've learned new words, the next step is to actually use them in speaking and writing.
Yes, Jack. Memorizing words is good, but if we don't use them, it's easy to forget. Using words regularly helps move them into long-term memory.
Exactly. You can start with simple sentences. For example, if you learned the word amazing, say, "This cake is amazing," out loud, or write it in your notebook.
Right. And try to include new words in daily conversations, even if it's just a small sentence. Speaking and writing are active ways to remember words, not just passive reading.
Another tip is journaling. Write short paragraphs about your day using new words. For example, today I visited the park. The flowers were beautiful, and the weather was perfect. It was an amazing day.
Yes, the more you use words in real life, the stronger your memory becomes. Eventually, these words will come naturally whenever you speak or write.
Exactly. So remember, practice speaking and writing with your new words every day. It's one of the smartest ways to memorize English vocabulary. Sarah, one of the best ways to remember words is to make learning fun and practical.
Absolutely, Jack. When learning is enjoyable, your brain remembers words much more easily. You can use movies, songs, games, or even daily activities to learn new vocabulary.
For example, if you love watching movies, try to notice new words in dialogues. Pause, write them down, and use them in your sentences.
Yes. Or listen to English songs and try to understand the lyrics. Highlight words you don't know and look them up. Then imagine or act out the meaning. It sticks better that way.
Even simple things like reading signs, menus, or labels in English can help. Learning words in real-life situations makes them meaningful and easy to remember.
Exactly. Fun activities also make learning less stressful. You'll enjoy the process and naturally remember more words without even trying hard.
So, the key is to include English in your daily life in fun ways. The more real-life practice you have, the smarter your learning becomes. Sarah, another smart technique is to keep a personal vocabulary journal.
Yes, Jack. A vocabulary journal is a special notebook or digital document where you write down all the new words you learn, along with their meanings and examples.
Exactly. For example, if you learn the word curious, write it like this. Word curious meaning wanting to know or learn something. Example sentence. The child was curious about the stars.
You can also add synonyms, antonyms, or even a small picture. This makes your journal more useful and helps you remember words faster.
And the best part is, you can review your journal anytime. Even 5 minutes a day can make a huge difference in memorizing words.
Yes, keeping a personal journal helps you organize your learning, track your progress, and remember words smartly.
So, if you don't have a vocabulary journal yet, start one today. It's a simple but powerful tool for smart English learning. Sarah, one final key to memorizing words smartly is to review and revise them regularly.
Yes, Jack. Even the smartest techniques won't work if you don't revisit your words. A quick daily or weekly review keeps them fresh in your memory.
You can check your vocabulary journal, flashcards, or even the words you learned from movies or songs. Repetition is what moves words into your long-term memory.
Exactly. A few minutes of consistent review every day is much more effective than cramming all at once.
So, make reviewing a habit, and you'll see how easily words start sticking in your memory. Sarah, before we finish, let's give our listeners some motivation. Learning new words can be challenging, but smart techniques make it easier and even fun.
Yes, Jack. Don't get discouraged if you forget a word sometimes. It's normal. The important thing is to keep practicing, using the words, and applying the techniques we discussed today.
Exactly. Remember, consistency is key. Even 10 to 15 minutes of smart practice every day can make a huge difference over time.
And don't forget to enjoy the process. Learning English words can be creative and fun if you use visualization, context, and real-life activities.
So keep going, keep learning, and soon you'll notice your vocabulary growing naturally and confidently. Let's quickly recap what we covered today.
Sure, Jack. We talked about smart ways to memorize English words, like learning words in context, using visualization, practicing with spaced repetition, connecting new words to what you already know, using words in speaking and writing, learning through fun activities, keeping a vocabulary journal, and reviewing regularly.
Exactly. If you apply even a few of these techniques consistently, you'll notice your vocabulary improving faster and more naturally.
And now it's your turn. Try at least one of these methods today and see how it helps you memorize words smartly. Yes, and leave a comment below telling us which method you like the most. We love hearing from you.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode with more smart tips for learning English.